Welcome back, Nerd Herders. We're back with another episode of The Outer Worlds on GeekTechMedia number 2. That's the second channel, my variety channel. And let's just get into it, shall we? Because we left off, I believe, in the city. The Emerald Vale? I don't remember now what they're called. You have to forgive me. I got a lot of stuff on my plate right now. So, like, yeah, it's gravy. It's gravy. I'll tell you that right now. It's gravy. Alright. Yep, I think we're getting ready to go inside here. Have we done everything? Was it? Oh. There we go. It didn't want to react there. Die, robot, die. We need to return the Lugwig. Retrieve the cache of medicine. We haven't done that yet. This will do. We gotta go collect their digits. Find a power regulator. Okay, so here we go. Alright.
You're safer inside the walls.
There's one of the ones we're looking for. Phyllis!
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy.
I'm guessing you're the foreman.
Foreman Granger. Mind those words don't come out of your mouth unless preceded by yes or right away or thank you.
Gravesite fees. I'm here to collect.
Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment.
Alright. These papers aren't signed in your name.
Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
That's kind of you, I guess.
I could do without the sarcasm. Wasn't acting out of the goodness of my heart.
Wow.
Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker.
You said the guy shot himself?
Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
Must be tough losing family.
Eugene wasn't family.
I thought you said you were closest living relative.
Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
What are you going to do, arrest his corpse?
When one of your workers commits a crime, the entire town pays for it. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
What if you didn't?
Look around. Edgewater ain't exactly swimming in luxury. We can't afford to pay the body price of a suicide. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
Alright, I'll let you get back to work. Yeah, buddy. Alright, we got 10 skills to spend. Let's put them into dialogue. Leadership. Tech. Stealth. And ranged. Oh, we'll do 2 in ranged. Alright. Apply. Yep. Sweet. Okay. Return to Silas. Okay. Terminal access. Messages. Welcome, Phyllis Granger from R. Thompson. Phyllis, owing to your hard work and positive attitude, I have sanctioned your access to medical treatment in the event of contagion. As you know, the company has not provided us with enough medicine to treat every worker. I wish I could treat every member of Spacer's Choice family who fell to this plague, but I cannot. Medical privileges are strictly merit-based. Please do not, under any circumstance, distribute your ration of medication to any other worker. We're all in this together. Personal files. Hack. Continue. Personal files. Last entry. Theodore buried last night. Reed asked me not to report his death in our quarterlies. Sounds fair to me. Was asked to prepare a statement or something for the workers. Been thinking about it. Don't know what to tell him. Don't end up like Theodore. Do your work. Show up. Wear a smile. And you'll get your medical privileges. Yeah, it's a start. Alright. She seems like a... Let's go turn this into Silas real quick. We might as well go turn the other one into Ludwig too. Let me shoot right now. What? Anticleos, better than nature, serving Halcyon Colony. You can break down armor and weapons that you don't need to give the parts. You'll need to keep your gear in tip-top shape. Yes, I know this. Raising your engineering skill will allow you to repair your armor and weapons without, I'm going to say, a workbench.
Fancy threads. That some kind of hibernation suit?
Hey, about those fees you wanted.
You run into any trouble?
I'm done. Paperwork, fees, and signatures.
Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah, well, I went out of my way for you.
And I'll buy you a drink sometime.
I was hoping something more tangible.
Suppose you've earned it. One good turn deserves another.
Abernathy was trying to hide his own illness.
Abernathy was sick? With the plague? That's disgusting. I shook hands with the guy.
Yeah, isn't that why you wanted me to collect his fees?
I needed his fees because of his name. A for Abernathy. He was at the top of my list, you see?
Oh. Let me ask you something else.
Yeah?
Have you heard any news about Hope?
The colony ship? Are you talking about that old rumor? Some great big starship packed full of colonists what got lost in the aether never to be found again? Ain't heard that one since I was but a stripling. Can't say it was terribly convincing far as rumors go. There a reason you asking?
I don't understand. Are you saying everyone's forgotten about us?
Hope's just a rumor, friend. Ancient rumor at that. Maybe you've been out in the sun too long. Why don't you head over to the cantina? Get yourself some zero-G brew. It's a brew that's good for what ails you.
I don't understand. They said the colony was expecting us.
Look, I don't know what's got you caterwauling about Hope this and colony that, but you need to stop. Or there's gonna be trouble.
Where's the trouble in asking a question?
Trouble's in the asking. Lord don't much care for folk running their mouths, spreading hoaxes and the like. Frankly, neither do I.
Fine, let's change the subject.
Something I can do for you?
We need to talk about Eugene.
Yeah? What about him?
You first. I know you buried him.
Well, yeah. It's what I'm contractually obligated to do. What's this about?
His solid gold teeth. Could they be worth something if you pulled them out?
Yeah. Funny thing, Eugene's body ain't where it's supposed to be. The night we was supposed to commend his body to the earth, I had his grave all dug up and ready, right? And so I thought, I'll just rest my eyes a bit. When I woke up, his body was gone. Spirited away. Vanished. The footprints nearby suggested that Eugene was stolen by marauders. Or he rose from the dead.
I'll keep an eye out on him, I guess.
Let me know if you find anything.
Alright, see you around. If an enemies are hostile but your reputation isn't, kill on sight. Leaving a few days will calm things down. Alright. Okay, I think it was this way. That's for the other one.
Another day at the cannery.
Another day at the cannery.
You think corporate's ever gonna get?
No. Let's go down here and talk to this guy.
Bring us honor, soldier.
You won't have to worry about that scout anymore.
You beat that scout to scrap with its own legs? Pulled its optic cables out its head case? Actually, don't tell me. Rather use my imagination. You're a passing fair soldier, I will confess. But you are one, and the enemy is legion. What you need is an equalizer, a weapon to strike fear in their cold, mechanical hearts.
Oh, yeah?
Cantina, lavatory, behind one of the toilets. That's where I've kept it hidden all these years.
You hid your secret weapon in a lavatory?
Sharp, ain't it? The lavatory is the very last place a mechanical has need to enter.
Oh my gosh. I'll let you know when I find
the double
it.
soldier. Don't want the bartender poking around in there with a mop.
Alright, I'll let you be then. Wow. He put it in the lavatory. The bathroom. Behind the toilet. Oh my goodness. Terror on Monarch. With Ruth Bellamy. As Halcyon Helen. Alright, so where's the cantina? Let's go in there and grab it real quick.
Something got you down?
Nothing.
Isn't it here? No. The bathroom was on the other side. I didn't see it. Yeah, this is the cantina. Oh, there it is. Alright. Let's go return to him real quick.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit?
Well, we could go talk to the boss real quick. Let's go talk to the boss. Oh boy, elevator music.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need? Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
You Reed? I was told I should talk to you.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator.
Oh,
I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
I think you have a uniform. What are you talking about? I don't work. I think you have the wrong idea about me.
Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Well, my ship needs repairs, so I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Frying myself?
Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power was running. His legs were still twitching when we buried him. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
When you say mostly abandoned, what do you mean?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
What a surprise. I never would have guessed.
I am not trying to pull one over on you, friend. You were bound to run into them sooner or later. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Why?
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
So how can I help?
My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
How will I recognize Adelaide?
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
You're asking me to cut off power to an entire community.
I am asking you to help us survive. Edgewater needs more workers or we will collapse. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
All right, Reed, I'll see what I can do to help you.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful.
Hell yeah.
I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Sure, I could use a company.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Yeah, let's get going. Companions. You've gained a companion. There are characters that join you in your adventures and help in a variety of ways. Companions provide combat support. Their skills enhance your skills. They increase your carrying capacity. You can unlock special companion combat abilities with the inspiration skill. Learn more about your companions in the companion ledger. Some people may require completing another quest before they will assist you. You can check your quest log for dependents. Hey, Parvarti.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Alright. If you say so. Whatever. Logs. Occasionally, companions may have something on their mind. When you see a thought bubble above their head, try talking to them. They may have something. Notice, Edgewater Saltuna Canning Factory strictly adheres to the Spacer's Choice standards of health and safety. Notice, schedule your sick leave with your Spacer's Choice foreman and or your supervisor. Be considerate toward other members of Spacer's Choice family. Allow 2 to 4 weeks to process and approve your scheduled sick leave. Lost hours must be compensated to the company. See Reed if you're having any trouble paying for your sick leave. We'll try to arrange wage deductions instead. Remember, work invigorates the spirit. Sickness in the body reflects sickness in the mind, and sickness in the character. If you find yourself falling ill, it may be time to schedule a meeting with our local vicar. Wow. Douchebags. Okay. Where did...
Can we talk?
Oh, there she is.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me.
Aww, she's so cute.
Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters. On account of it's his job.
She's my favorite.
All, but that's not the only side of the tale.
This is about deserters, so what's the other side of it?
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
How well did you know the deserters? Did you work with them? You're friends with them, or what?
I don't know anybody well. I mostly listened to them talk, kept my head down. There was a boy named Thomas who used to follow me around, asking questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Not any sort of dissident.
Did you know Adelaide Reed mentioned?
Miss McDevitt? Oh, gosh, no. She was a real important person. A flavorist. Made all the food taste decent. She used to work up in the big office with Mr. Thompson. All I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both yelling clear from my own place.
You can't leave it at that. Why were Reed and Adelaide arguing?
Can't say as I know. I wasn't there. The sound carried, but not the words.
Oh.
If Mr. Thompson ain't of a mind to tell you his own self, you'd best ask Miss McDevitt, if he can get out to her.
I can't blame anyone for wanting to leave. This town's got issues.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
I suppose it couldn't hurt. We'll stop by.
Thanks, ma'am. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Let's go to the vicar. We gotta go to the vicar and talk to him before we leave.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Yeah, right?
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider.
Fantastic!
Vicar Maximilian de Soto, at your service.
Maximilian.
Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity.
I prefer
and Miss
brevity.
Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger.
Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
How did you know I was an outsider?
Not to put too fine a point on it, but your choice of wardrobe is not precisely common hereabouts. Also, you lack the distinctive worker gaze. Usually either a deadening behind the eyes, or in some rare cases, a wild-eyed frenzy, like a trapped animal.
Yeah,
Pretty
probably.
universal here. Except for Miss Holcomb, who, for some reason, doesn't seem to have much to say to me. Isn't that right?
It's just... there's more to it all than numbers. Sorry.
Maybe it's because you're so dismissive. Quite inappropriate for Vicar, isn't it?
Oh, nothing could be further from the truth. I'm simply bemoaning the level of spiritual awareness in this town.
Isn't it your job to raise that?
Yes, but there are few who hear me in this miserable place. I must double my efforts to elevate my flock. These are good, hard-working people here.
Hold on a minute. Did you just refer to this town as a miserable place?
Yes, and thank you for pointing it out. It is wrong of me to succumb to distress. This place could be so much more, and I will continue in my quest to make it so.
Parvarti wanted to ask you about Reed, what Reed asked us to do.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do?
Cut off the power to Adelaide's deserters.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
So what do you think of Adelaide's group, Vicar?
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
It depends on how well the leader can provide beyond the walls.
Astute. But I am here, not in the deserter camp. So that's not a variable I can account for.
So what do you advise?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Is that even possible?
Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
And why is that?
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
All right, a handsome sum, you say. Tell me more.
It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious?
Why would a vicar be after a banned heretical book?
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption.
Seems to me the authorities would be interested to hear you're after a contraband text.
On the contrary, my position means that I am one of the few legally allowed to possess such items. But do not worry. You'll be safe since you are acting on my behalf.
You make a compelling argument.
Glad we see eye to eye.
I'll look for your book.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
All right. Come on, Parvarti. All right, let's go down and turn this one into, what's his name? I already brought his name. Sorry.
When I was little...
Bring us honor, soldier.
Found that package you mentioned.
Feast your eyes, soldier. This here is a genuine Spacer's Choice injury customizing unit, designed to deliver a lethal blast of electrical discharge. I call it the Hand of the Law. You ever want to see a mechanical flailing around like a grounded fish? You stick a couple thousand volts in its guts. With compliments from old Ludwig.
So, okay, how do I use this injury customizing unit exactly?
There's a workbench right through this door. Attach that unit to your favorite weapon and go forth into glorious battle. Time's come for you to journey down into the black heart of the enemy's camp. I'm talking about the old geothermal plant. Unfortunately, the old plant lies outside my board-given jurisdiction. You'll need to get a passcode from the boss, Reed Thompson.
Don't worry about that. I've already got the passcode from
I've
Reed.
been after a passcode for years. Boss said no on account of my gross incompetence with all matters related to security. I need you to get us the brain of a mechanical. Well, not exactly a brain. Anatomically speaking, what we're looking for is a logic module.
And how am I supposed to get one of these logic modules?
There's the rub. If a mechanical breaks down, the logic module fries. So you can't rip one out of its corpse. You're going to have to find an intact model somehow.
Parvarti, is the logic module something you can help with?
I don't reckon so. I work with gears and pistons and such. Stuff you can put hands to. Computers and mechanical brains are outside my ken.
You know, she names the mechanicals she fixes. Calls them Bess and Clancy and so on. You keep a careful eye on her. Could be a sympathizer.
What are you planning?
Don't tell anyone, all right? I've got a contact. A real expert in the inner workings of the automaton. We are gonna rip those mechanical secrets right out of their circuits.
Edgewater's in the middle of nowhere. You don't have a contact.
Well, excuse me. What I meant was I'm going to get a contact. I didn't know I had to be all prissy about my grammar around you.
Alright, seems simple enough.
If you die horribly, I will pour out a can of 0G to your memory.
Alright, I'll let you be. So he gave me a modifier thingy-mabobber. And I don't have anything that I really want to modify it with. Oh, that's has Mr. Zap on it already? Alright, never mind then. Alright, come on.
Something you need?
I noticed you mentioned your dad a lot, but never your mother.
That's on account of how I never met her.
You mean she's dead?
I don't rightly know. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here.
You get along with your dad? You might not have with your mother?
Could be. Reckon I'll never know.
You mentioned something earlier I wanted to ask you about.
You mean about the mission being too clean?
Isn't it supposed to be clean? It's a church.
I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicker sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass.
It's an ideal, not that we live in, but we strive for.
It just comes off cold to me, is all.
Alright, let's get back to it. Alright, we need to go to... Yeah, I think this is the way we gotta go out. Yeah, botanical lab. So, we gotta go out this way, which is... gonna take us on our path. Alrighty. Well, that's going to be it, though. That's it for now. So we're going to save the game. This is Amara. So we're going to save that. And we are going to go ahead and go to the main menu. And I want to thank all of you again for watching another episode of The Outer Worlds. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that like button, the subscribe, and tell your friends that Geek also plays variety games. And come in and subscribe to GeekTechMedia too. I would appreciate it. Alright, well, I'm out of here. As always, love you all, game on, and geek out. Bye, everybody!